Good afternoon. On behalf of Veterans in Politics International, I want to thank you for coming today. Just to give you a brief overview of this process, we'll start by having the panel members will introduce ourselves, and then we'll give you the opportunity to introduce yourself. You'll be given 5 minutes to do so. If you would, though, if you could just in your introduction include what exactly like your background is as far as what your real job is, so to speak, right? Please keep in mind, well, I don't need to, I can skip that part. I'll give you 4 minutes to respond to each one of our questions. I won't be rude and interrupt you mid-sentence, but just when the timer goes off, just try to wrap it up as quickly as possible. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Jim Jonas. I'm the Director of Veterans of Politics International. I'm a huge veterans advocate, even though I haven't served myself. And I also co-host the podcast with Steve Sanson. And I'm just looking forward to you answering our questions. With that, I'll turn it over to my colleague.
How you doing? I'm Len Connell, and my business is in Henderson, of course, even though I'm not in your ward, but we're in Old Boulder Highway between the Joker's Wild and the Skyline. So we're in a nice area. But I'm the president and CEO of RLC Veterans Assistance and Veterans Assistance Angels. RLC Veterans Assistance is a service-disabled veteran-owned business. My father owns 51% of the company. He's a decorated Korean War veteran who got a 100% disability award because of being wounded in action as an air sea rescue person. I run the business under him with the 49%. I never served in the military. I just had an extensive business background and education background, and I'm the guy that got him the 100%, So we have 15 disabled veterans that are our employees. We have an office here at the fantastic indoor swap meet, and we're opening up in 4 cities in addition to this. So we're going to go into Havasu, Auburn, California, Mesquite, and Cedar City. So we're doing a franchise model. Veteran Assistance Angels is a 501c3 nonprofit. It's fully fledged. It got more than $150,000 of donations last year. It's filed 3 IRS 990As. And the job of Veterans Angels is to work with any veteran who can't afford assistance and services. So we raise money to take care of that. We're also part of the Henderson Downtown Redevelopment Plan. So we got 1,200 square feet of the Wells Fargo building being built just for us, So we're sending one of our subsidiaries down there. So basically never served. My father did. And my questions might be a little bit focused on, how we're going to help veterans in the city of Henderson. And I thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Hello, Carrie. My name is Robert Faust. I am a third-generation veteran. My father was in World War II. My grandfather was in World War I. After that, I returned from the war. I played professional baseball, and I am an author. I've currently written 2 books.
Nice to meet you all.
Okay, Carrie, go ahead and just give us a 5-minute bio about yourself, why you're running, and just what you do for a living.
Sure. Well, as you know, my name is Carrie Cox, and I'm running for Henderson City Council. I am a mother of 7 and a grandmother of 11. I am an educator. I'm a kindergarten teacher, and I'm a businesswoman. I have lived in Henderson for 29 years and served the community for most of that. I don't know why I went blank for just a second. Probably. It should be easy. I talk about myself all the time. Anyway, I am wanting to run again. I ran before, and I almost won. I came so close. And so it's important to me that I put myself out there again and that I can help Henderson. That is my ultimate goal, to be able to do things that have not yet been done or finished and help with those things to help residents. I have a resident first vision. And it's important to me that I help seniors and veterans and the homeless and children. Education is a big part of my plan as well. I am on the Henderson Blue Ribbon Commission for Excellence in Education and Youth Opportunity. I'm also on CDAC currently, which is the Clark County Community Development Advisory Committee. And I have served on many boards and things before, so I am just excited to be able to serve on the City Council.
Let's let our distinguished veteran here go first. Go ahead, sir.
So if you're an educator, the children today are taught by their teachers about sexual guidance, and I am a firm believer that teachers should teach and sex should be taught by the parents or whatever the children find out. So how do you feel about that?
Well, in kindergarten, we do not. And working for Pinecrest, we do not. So I have never had to teach any sex ed. And I wouldn't, especially at that age. So that's how I feel about that.
I was specifically talking about the gender sexually.
Yeah, we don't teach anything about that either. That is up to the parent.
Okay, so being on the Henderson City Council, and you said you sit on a development board. So with that being said, and I brought this up I bring it up all the time. So at the city council has a lot to do with zoning laws and also permits within the city of Henderson. One thing that I've noticed is it's used as an excuse. I know COVID was a real thing, right? And it did cause a backlog, and I understand that. But people that are trying to get permits in order to add on to their homes or their businesses, there's this huge backlog. When you're on the city council, what would you do to help try to clear some of this backlog? And then going forward in the future, what would you propose or help to streamline that process so it's not as difficult?
Well, I would like to give that department more help. I think we may need to hire some more people to get that done, or find a better way to get the current permits that are waiting through quicker. And then moving forward, I want to streamline the permitting process. I do hear a lot that we get bogged down in Henderson, and we have wonderful employees at Henderson, and I think they work really hard, but they need more. And I want to make sure we give them what they need to be able to rectify the issue that you're talking about.
You know, people go to school or whatnot, but they don't really go there for the real reasons, for the right reasons. They don't go there to learn. They don't go there to be productive. They go there to disrupt. And what would you do with people like that? I'm talking about the really violent ones.
Well, I think we need to get back to consequences. I have 7 children, 5 are married. So I have 4 that graduated from Clark County School District. And what I've seen over the years, because my oldest is turning 35, so I've watched, and I've been in the district for a very long time. As we have gone to restorative justice, although that may have, on the surface, it may look great. I just feel like it's opened up some doors that have allowed the violence to get out of control. Because if there's no consequence, or very little consequence, then why would children or those that are, wanting to have violent altercations, why would they stop? What helps them to stop? The other part of that, if I may, is that we really do need to look at what's going on with that particular person. I think restorative justice has tried to do that, where we look at why, what can we do to help you feel better so that you aren't doing that? But we can't I think it's going to take both. I don't think we can just get rid of, the consequence part and just add the caring about the individuals that are involved in each situation.
If you have consequences, you would probably kick these kids out of school. You'd expel them. So then these people are on the street. So then, what do you say about the worry warts that go, well, we can't expel the kids from school?
Well, just like in Desert Oasis, the situations that they've had lately out there, my understanding is those students, the majority of them that were involved, are now going to what used to be called an opportunity school. I'm not in the district anymore. I haven't been for years, so I don't know what they're calling those schools, but they are taking and placing children in schools that will be able to still get them an education, but removing them from a larger high school in order to give them that opportunity to still succeed. And they do a great job, I think, at like Cowan, and if they even have it, but they did at the time that I was involved with the district.
Would you ever consider not having sports in schools?
I'm sorry, what?
Would you ever consider not having sports in school?
No, I would not. The reason being is that's one of the things that helps kids, teach to the whole child, right? And so if we teach to the whole child, that's academic, social, emotional, physical, and they need that. They need that camaraderie. They need to feel a part of something, and sports does that for kids.
Sports at school can start gang rivalries, can start rivalries of that sort. What if you just had schools that had education and that was it?
Well, in all due respect, I would have to look at the data on that, because I'm going to tell you from my own experience, having 7 children who all have played sports, and my last 2, which are senior and a 7th grader, I have not had that experience. So again, I'd have to look at what you're referring to, because I think sports are beneficial for kids.
No. I'm saying that kids should go to school for so many hours per day and get the proper education, get right into it, get good education, not crap, not the social stuff, but just education. And then sports can be after school, and they can be run by separate programs, by separate entities.
Well, at Pinecrest, that is how it's done. So I teach at a school that does exactly that.
Just shifting gears a little bit, in your business career, what did you do?
Well, several things, but as of the last 8 years, we owned a restaurant, and we just sold that because it's important to me to be able to be free to take care of Henderson. I want to clear my schedule and clear my plate to be able to just focus on the things and the needs that we have. So that's why we walked away from our business. But it was okay. We did the right thing, and but that is one area. I was also I helped failing strip malls early on in my career. I was a hairdresser, and I ended up in leadership, and then went in and would put a salon for my company in a strip mall, which created an anchor for that strip mall and brought new businesses. And then I would go on and do another, and I did 5 of those. So that was one business I did. I've had a learning center, childcare for years. So those type of things.
Fantastic. Let's see, do we still have this? You hear me okay? There, good. Okay. You just cut for a second. Let's talk about maybe ties with the military. Was your husband in the military, or you in the military, or your 7 kids? Tell me a little bit about that. Mom and dad, or, let me know. Okay.
My husband served in the Air Force. My father was Navy, and none of my children have joined as of yet, but my son is a helicopter pilot and instructor for SUU in Cedar City. And he keeps talking about it. So I don't know. He has 3 children and a beautiful wife. And so we'll see where his life takes him.
I want to talk a little bit more about the military because it ties into economic development. It ties into a lot of things that you do in leadership, and some troubling statistics. And these are right from the United States Senate, by the way. Vietnam War veterans, 45% of the Vietnam War veterans got careers as managers. They became managers in the civilian life after their service. 45% also became successful business owners. Okay, now let's turn to Desert Storm and Desert Shield. Guess what? That percentage is 4% and 4%. So we're wondering what's happening to 5 to 10 million people that served their country from 1990 to now, to see where that drop is and what's going to happen to an entire class of people. There are also fewer veterans involved in American politics at all levels today than before World War II, when America was isolationist. And it gets better. We've had record numbers of suicides. We have females in the military that are as likely to have been raped and experience PTSD that way. By the way, up until recently, you know what the governing law was when you complained about rape in the service? Discretion of your commanding officer. There was no justice. There was no court of justice. So now we're seeing all these things happen. The weapons are getting worse. There are burn pits and different things like that. We're going to have an underclass in this nation if we don't change our course and get these veterans more help with their benefits and other services. As a teacher, if you're a veteran and say you become an electrician, good job. Plumber, good job. Carpenter, good job. But you get that license in the service, you can work for decades as one of those people, right? So guess what happens? Once you leave the service, you lose the license. And then you got to start all the way back from square one and become a journeyman and an apprentice and all stuff like that. Well, most of those people have a family to feed and they can't do it. So they trade a good job, which they could have had if they had just been able to walk right into a skilled electrician or a master mechanic job, to maybe working in a call center, So as a future statesperson dealing with these issues, what would your plan be to A, help the veterans, and B, say, help with programs that would do rapid recertification of these veterans so they could be higher earning people buying homes and contributing to the community versus being financially strained, where their children are more likely to drown in school and succeed in school and a bunch of other stuff. So I'll let you answer all that.
Wow, I don't know where to start. Well, as a city councilwoman, as you know, that's not in the city council purview, really. However, I believe that wholeheartedly that leaders should lead. So as a city councilwoman, it will be important to me to take care of all of our residents, as I've talked about, including, and very important to me, our veterans. My voice I will lend to those that are working hard like yourself to make life better for veterans. I am so grateful for all those that have served, and I want to thank them right now for their service, including my husband and my father. I am proud to be an American, and it is because of veterans who served in the armed forces and took care of our country. I think many agree now that there's been a huge disservice done. And I would do anything almost to be able to fill in the gaps that you're talking about and help those veterans to be able to stay on a course where they're able to support their families and they're able to feel good about themselves, and that they never think about taking their own life after all they did. That is what's hard to stomach. After being in danger, after being shot at, after being in a difficult position and making it through that, and then coming home and not feeling like they can go on. So mental health is a big issue for me on my plate that I want to make sure that we help in all of those areas that we can. The homeless, like I said, veterans, teen suicide. We've got a host of issues that have been compounded by COVID. And so I want to address those. And I would work closely with you, Len, and anyone else that is, and Steve and Jim, whoever, that is willing to go down that road with me, and I will lend my voice in a big way to be able to make a change and make differences happen for them. Lots of ideas come when we get together and we work together towards one goal, and I'd love to be part of that.
What denomination are you running as, and are you religious? And
He allowed to ask that.
And would you let religion play a part in your decisions?
I am a Republican, a proud Republican. This is a nonpartisan race, and so it's important. It's important for everyone to understand that no matter what my political affiliation is my history in helping people. I don't say when something comes to me, oh, I'm sorry, what political affiliation are you? I'm not sure I can help you. So I always tell people to be very careful judging a person by their political affiliation either way. Judge the person, because the best indication of what a person is going to do in the future is what they've done in the past. And the other thing you asked me is about religion. My religion is very near and dear to my heart. And the way my religion will impact my decisions is on just that I have a lot of integrity. And the way I was raised taught me to work hard, to take care of others, to serve others, and to be a good person. And that's the impact that it will have on my decisions, is just doing the right thing.
All right, Carrie, I have one last question for you. And this goes back to, you can't tell I'm a little obsessed with permits. Anyway, but okay, so I want to ask you more of like when you are sitting on the city council, if you win. So this has just been my experience with the way city councils work, and I'm not picking on Henderson. I'm picking on every city, whether it's Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Boulder City. It always seems to work the same. As soon as the planning commission says they recommend approval, then it's pretty much rubber stamped by the rest of the actual voting members on the city council that are actually elected, which the planning commission is not. And so basically the system ends up being rigged to this. If you have enough money to pay for a really good attorney that understands permits and zoning laws very well, and you pay them handily enough, they will push it through and make sure the planning commission says yes. And then it's automatically, not 100%, but 99% of the time, the entire city council just approves it. So when you sit on the city council, will you be willing to be that one voice to stand back, to sit back and say, well, wait, I need to hear more about this, and actually listen to public comment? Because that's another thing that frustrates me is they go, okay, now we'll open it up to public comment. And I've seen issues come up in the past where there's 150 people standing up there and they keep saying the same thing, keep bringing up the same concerns, and then it just ends up passing anyway. Will you be willing to be that one person on the city council that says, no, this is not good, instead of just regular groupthink?